Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Play It Loud. My name's Braden, and it's good to be back with you. I took the whole of last week off because I was very, very ill. And I won't bore you with the details, but suffice to say, you're lucky you weren't me last week. So, what are we doing today? Well, I'm trying to ease back into things, and so I thought I'd do a bit of a look back at some games that I grew up with. And I'm going to do two of these videos for different companies, and this first one is going to be about one of my all-time favourite video game companies, Sega, or Sega. How you pronounce it seems to depend on where you grew up. I understand that Sega is correct. However, in Australia, even their own promo material seemed to say Sega for a very long time. So that was kind of how I was raised with it. So it's a habit I often find hard to break. Anyway, in Australia in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, if you had a video game console, it was probably a Sega Master System because they were everywhere. They were ubiquitous. They were very successful and much more successful in Australia than the NES. In America, the NES was the thing, the Nintendo, the video game of the ages. And so there's a lot of nostalgia for NES games in America. In Australia, there is that, and there is certainly a nostalgia towards them, but it wasn't nearly as successful as the Master System in Australia. As a result, there's a lot more nostalgia attached to Master System games, and they are what I grew up surrounded by. When I was a kid, you would go around to a friend's place and we would play Wonder Boy 3, or we would play Outrun, or we would play Afterburner, or we would play whatever. But, you know, all those Sega classics, and particularly the Sega arcade games, Galaxy Force, and Afterburner, and Outrun, and Alien Syndrome, and Altered Beast, and you would just be blown away. I mean, not by Altered Beast, that was absolute rubbish on the Master System, but you really would just, it was, the sprites were huge, the sounds were so much better than what you got on the PC. I grew up with a PC, no sound card, just PC speaker. When we finally got a sound card in the mid-90s, it was a revolution to me. I just had never heard anything like it. But yeah, so having gone over to my friends' places and seen them playing games, I went to the Wagga Markets one time and saw Outrun for the PC in a box that said Sega on it. And I just remember thinking to myself, I've got to have that. So I hassled my mum and she got it. Probably, I'm assuming that's how it happened. And we got Outrun. And so this is the version of Outrun I grew up playing. Brace yourself. Now, I've turned the volume down on the recording, so you aren't getting what I would term the full experience of this soundtrack. Let me tell you, it's quite something. Unlimited Software Inc. Programmed this, but Sega did publish it. And let's have a look at the music. Oh no, the demo's loading. But yes, as you can see, it's a genuine Sega product. As soon as I can get out of the demo, we'll go to... Here we go. So that sound again. Here's Passing Breeze. Bit of musical sound shower. Splash Wave, of course. Usually my favourite. And then, perhaps mercifully, off. And I think anybody will agree that this is the truly sensible choice. Let's go. So yes, this was released in 1989 by Unlimited Software Incorporated. And, it's not bad. I mean, it's not good. As far as conversions of Outrun go, I think this holds its own with the Master System version. At the point in my life when I got this, I probably hadn't experienced the Mega Drive version. It probably wasn't out. I certainly hadn't played an Outrun arcade game at this point in my life. I didn't get to experience one of those until very late. It was probably the late 90s by the time I found one of those in the wild. Because let's face it, they were old by the time I was a kid. So yeah, but it's a classic. In all fairness, I did say, you know, the sensible option is not to have the music, but the alternative is this horrendous whatever passes ish for an engine sound effect that we've got going on here, which really isn't much better. As a game, you know, it's playable. It's a conversion. I certainly won't take that away from it. They've converted Outrun to the PC, and it's here. The steering is terrible. It might look bad. Trust me, it's even worse, because every time I tap a button, the responsiveness is next to nothing. Looks like a fish, moves like a fish, steers like a cow. I always forget to drop to low gear to build my speed back up after I crash, and you crash a lot. So yeah, this is this is Outrun. There's not a lot to say about it. It's really just Outrun. As I said, you know, with the smoothness of the road, the design of the graphics, it could hold its own with the Master System version. It's a little dull looking. I mean, only 16 colours will do that to you. But it does what it does, and it does it alright. It would be better with an analog joystick, which I don't have one of at the moment. Well, not for use with DOSBox anyway. Let's cruise left, because I seem to remember this being the easier path. I think we probably had a joystick at the time, and I can't now remember whether that did make it any easier or not. It was a QuickShot 5, I want to say. Great big flight stick looking thing, lovely to play with. But yeah, so it's Outrun. It's a classic, and for a kid who had a 286 PC with DOS and Windows 3.1, this was really cool. This was my way of being able to say to my friends who had Master Systems, yeah, last night I totally was playing some Outrun. My Outrun skills, I've really lost what skills I had, because I definitely remember finishing this, and I can clearly see that's not going to happen. But we'll see how far we get, and then we'll go on with the next game. The engine sound is repetitive and grating, and it is bad enough to almost make me long for that terrible, terrible music. PC speaker music was a curse of a lot of games, and it's going to come up again shortly. There we go, out of town, and there's some more tunes. So yeah, that's I didn't even make the top scores. Okay, enough of that. So that was Outrun. So let's go with, what shall we go with? Can't get Afterburner to work. I did want to show off Afterburner for this, but I cannot for the life of me. There is some kind of control glitch or something. I cannot get it to work properly. It just, the plane flies off and the game resets, excuse me. So let's have a look instead at Altered Beast. My god, it took a lot of files. Yes, I was just trying to remember what the executable for this is called, because I knew it wasn't altered. I don't think it's altered. No, it's Beastie. Let's go with this. So we've got VGA video, and this had proper sound card support. Hallelujah and praise the Lord. This game came along a little later. It's VGA, it's got sound card support, and it's not a bad conversion on the whole. I mean, it's Altered Beast. This is a love-hate game. Either you love it with a passion, or you absolutely loathe it with the fire of 1,000 suns. I don't mind it. It's not one of my favourites. Let's go from round 1. Let's crank up to 5 lives. Let's crank up to 5 strength. We're going to do keyboard input, because I don't have a joystick hooked up. And we're going to have the sound effects and music on, so you get the full experience. When I first played this, I didn't have an ad-lib sound card, and so I would have had... no, I don't want to restore previous game. Sadly, no voice. The keyboard controls are terrible. You've got space to punch and enter to kick for reasons that completely escape me. Power up orb. Power up! Yeah, so ad-lib music, but no voices, no sound effects to write home about. Seriously, enter to kick, it's the most backwards control scheme I've ever used. And of course up jumps. This was, I definitely seem to remember playing a version of Altered Beast on someone's Master System. Damn, I missed the power up. I definitely seem to remember playing a version of Altered Beast on someone's Master System, and the Master System port is terrible. This doesn't look like much, but trust me, it's a lot better than that. I've already lost, like, at least one life. Power up orb guy should be coming in a second. One of the blue wolves. There he is. That guy was holding his head under his arm. Oh, sod. You can get up here, make certain things easier. I should have got up here to punch the blue wolf before. For those of you unfamiliar with how Altered Beast works, this level will keep looping until I kill enough of those blue wolves. I'm really not playing this very well at the moment. I've lost 2 lives in the first level. This is just appalling. Anyway, aside from the fact that everyone seems to be an albino, this is actually a fairly solid port of Altered Beast. It's, yeah, the colours are terrible. Keeps looping. The colours are obviously terrible. The graphics, however, are smooth. It runs well. The music is a big step up on Outrun. The joys of sound card support, really. Yes. Here we go. This guy is meant to be... Jeez. I was going to say, he's meant to be dark brown, and he, as a result, looks like a Easter bunny or something. The kind you get in the shops are made of chocolate. But now we've transformed into the monster. You can shoot projectiles. You can... I think now that I'm at full power, if I get that, it will restore health, but maybe I'm wrong. You can shoot projectiles. You can do this charge attack, which is great. Aren't any less vulnerable to attack. Ugh, cheating sod. Now this guy is the first boss, and he will fling these heads at you until you kill him, pretty much. He's got very little else to do with his time. You can bounce off him with your charge attack, but that's a good way to lose your health. The heads can be avoided or shot. But if you stand in an appropriate spot, you can pretty much just shoot the living daylights out of him. I seem to remember he takes more damage if you hit him in the head. In the console versions, he flashes when he's taking damage, which this isn't really coming across. There we go. So yeah, Altered Beast is not... everyone's favourite kind of game. It's not a great game by any means. It's a really simplistic walk to the right and hit things kind of a game. It's repetitive and it's kind of dull. When it was released on the System 16 hardware, it was very impressive both graphically and audibly. When the king says at the start, rise from your grave and save my daughter. I command you to rise from your grave. That was so impressive in the arcades at the time. The Mega Drive port was packed in because the idea that a console could do something like Altered Beast was so impressive. Oh, and it's a game over. Well, that'll happen because I'm not really caring too much about how I'm doing with this one. So yes. I came somewhere halfway up the table. That's enough of that. Ooh. Ooh, there's something really weird going on with the sound. Hold on a sec. Oh. Okay. Yep, good. We're back, and whatever the hell was making that noise is thankfully gone. Alright, let's try this again. So, now, we're going to have a look at one of my favorites. And again, brace yourself, because the music is gonna hurt. Let me just see. I need to get the command lines up. Yes, we're back to the days of command lines. It's a wonderful thing. Okay, so let's go. Part of me is really tempted to turn the music off, but I think you've got to hear it to believe it. So we're going to. This is going to be interesting. Okay, Harrier VGA, and we are going to leave the sound on for the moment. Brace yourself. This game is Space Harrier. This is a favourite. And I am controlling it with the mouse, and my god, it's jerkier than I remember. Actually, again, compared to, say, the Master System version, this is... Oh! Yes, he screams. He genuinely does scream. Oh my god, I wasn't ready. Let me try again. That's better. Oh. It's going very fast. So compared to the Master System version... Sorry, I had my hand in front of my mouth. Okay, let's try that again. Compared to the Master System version, this is smooth as silk. I love this game, but oh my god, the sound. And no, I can't turn the sound off. You can turn the sound off. You can't turn the music off in game. It's infuriating. Oh my god. Okay. Let's try that without the obnoxiousness, and maybe we'll get somewhere in it this time. Okay, that's better. I mean, you get these ridiculous kind of... Actually, the sound effects seem to have died entirely. Ooh. Oh. I can't concentrate with this noise. This is coming right through my headphones. I'm sorry, this is terrible. I'm having some real problems with this. Let's try it. Sound off. So yes, this is Space Harrier, and this time I'll try and show off some of the gameplay without complaining about what it's doing to my ears. It's a pity because the soundtrack to Space Harrier is incredible. It's one of my all-time favourite soundtracks to a video game. It's the whole experience in the arcades. Oh my god! The whole experience in the arcades is just one of the greatest arcade games ever. And I'm usually much better at it. It's beautiful to look at. It's beautiful to play. I think you can still get it on the Wii Virtual Console in the original arcade form, which is so much better than any other conversion. The only conversions I would particularly recommend beyond that are the one on the Saturn as part of the Sega Ages collection is quite good. There's a PS2 version. Oh my god. I'm just really not concentrating on what I'm doing. There's a PS2 version which replaces all the sprites with polygons, which I know pisses a lot of people off, but I didn't mind it, and I thought it played quite well. So yeah, you know, you can take or leave that. Oh my god, I'm just not paying any attention. And there's a Dreamcast conversion on the Yu Suzuki Works disc, which is not bad. The 32 export is also quite good. I used how many continues, and I've only just finished Moot. Oh my god. Alright, we're into Geezer. This is, yes, as I said in the Altered Beast one, this is the. I really have been playing these games since I was a kid. This is just not my finest hour. Try that again. So yeah, this is one of my favourites. The whole thing is beautiful to look at. It's obviously this version is not so much, but actually, as far as looks go, there are a lot worse versions out there. It runs at a fair old clip. It looks alright. It controls really well. With the mouse, it controls very well. If anything, it's running a little fast, but that may be because I've got the DOSBox settings turned up maybe a little high for it. That's all I can think. It's I don't seem to remember it running quite this fast, and the arcade version doesn't run this fast. Crank the DOSBox settings down. No, that's too slow. Yeah, and see, now that's too slow as well. Yeah. Anyway, that's beside the point. The point is, it's a great game. I love it. I love other versions of it more. But yeah, if you can't play anything else, I mean, the original arcade version, you had to strap yourself into, and it twisted you, and it turned you, and it was, you were Harrier. It was one of the most immersive experiences you will ever have. I mean, Sega knew it was a hit, and they ported it to everything from that they had their hands on. They ported it to the Master System, they ported it to the Mega Drive in a sadly inferior sequel. The original got converted brilliantly to the 32X. Yeah, it's all well worth trying out. If you've never tried it, I highly recommend it. Obviously, this was just the version we had when I was young. It's not the version to plump for now. So yes, I've now showed you the same level twice, and I'm now going to quietly forget this ever happened. Except, of course, there'll be footage of it on YouTube forever. Alright, now, so to finish off, I want to show you my all-time favourite of these games. This is just one of my all-time favourites. As I said, it's brilliant. It is a great game to play with friends. It is a great game to play on your own. It doesn't matter, because it's Alien Syndrome, baby! Yep. Define keyboard. Oh yeah, you can only define the keyboard for player 2. Which is just really baffling. I'm trying to remember what the controls are. Yes, there is sort of sound. It's not very good sound, but there is sound. Oh! Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. Don't take lives off me because I wasn't paying attention. That's not fair. So yeah, this is Alien Syndrome. This is an all-time favourite. It is, as some of you who've followed my content up till now will possibly have realised, I have a real soft spot for games of the Gauntlet ilk, where you are, preferably with the help of friends, running around mazes and fighting hordes of enemies. That is Alien Syndrome to a T. That is all you do in this. You run around mazes and you fight hordes of enemies. There is a PSP and Wii version, a remake that came out a couple of years ago. Got to go down to the bottom. A remake that came out a couple of years ago that I haven't really gotten a chance to get into yet, but really looks quite good. This game is smooth as silk. It suffers a little from slowdown when you're surrounded by a few too many enemies, but I will forgive it that because it's such fun. And I died. They couldn't come up with clever names. Okay, try it again as the guy this time. The time bomb is set. Yes, that's actually what that said. You would be forgiven for not realising that. So, in my opinion, this was the one version where I outlucked my friends who I would play these with on their Master System. This version cocks a leg and whizzes all over the Master System version. It has got better graphics. It is... Well, I'd even almost say it's got better sound. It looks better, it feels better, it plays better. It's got the same simultaneous two-player, which unfortunately I can't show off because I don't have anyone with me to show it off. It does this thing where it doesn't seem to scroll quite far enough to the left when you're running left, which I think has got to do with how this game gets away with its smooth scrolling, which is it loads things in as it needs them. So the rooms ahead of me aren't actually there yet. My mission has failed again. give it one more go. This whole talking while you're playing thing is a real challenge. So the objective of Alien Syndrome is you're on a ship, there's a time bomb set, you've got to get all the hostages and get out. And that's all there is to it. And got to shoot the aliens, you got to get the hostages, and then you got to get to the exit. You got 3 hit points, and then your history. I've got to say, usually do this in my sleep, but this is not one of my better playthroughs. There is another excellent version of this which doesn't get the recognition it deserves because it's semi-illegal. Tengen, on one of their NES cartridges of dubious legality, that's a story for another time that I will go into, converted Alien Syndrome to the NES. Actually, they converted several Sega games to the NES. Alien Syndrome, Afterburner, that was ambitious. There we go. Alien Syndrome, Afterburner, a whole bunch of other ones to the NES, Fantasy Zone. And they did brilliant conversions. In fact, the Alien Syndrome conversion to the NES was much better than the Master System one. Well worth checking out. But yeah, so this is a game that I spent a lot of time with as a kid. It's just so much fun, especially with a second player. You can either... I seem to remember us crowding around a keyboard a lot. You can do it with any one-button joystick, though, because you really only require one button. You've just got to shoot. Ah! No! The door got stuck. Oh my god, getting cornered. Sorry, you'll have to excuse my not speaking. I'm just really getting into this. So yeah, I wanted to save this one for last because I wanted to say, I've seen a lot of stuff about how the Sega conversions to PC were abysmal and how they shouldn't have bothered and all that kind of stuff. And I wanted to say they weren't all bad. Like, this is a game that is genuinely fun. It's a genuinely good conversion of a genuinely good arcade game. It's a little simple because the game itself, not the conversion. But that doesn't matter because it's just so much it's so fun. It's exactly what I'm after, and this was a great way to experience it. This conversion gave me a lot of joy when I was a kid. It was something to play with friends. It was, and I think multiplayer games like that, they're the best way to go. I've had, okay, go to the exit. I've got enough hostages, and I'm running out of time. Oh, Jesus. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Because I've gone the wrong way. Oh, the time bomb went off. I like how I'm just kind of standing around and watching it. Oh, there we go. I died. So, yeah. That's ended up being a bit longer than I meant it to. Wow, this explosion sequence goes forever. Your mission has failed. Try again. So yeah, that was Alien Syndrome. So yeah, this was just me showing off some games from my childhood that meant something to me. Some of them have aged abysmally, but some of them deserve to be remembered fondly, and I think Alien Syndrome is one of them. And the version of Space Harrier isn't bad. I mean, if you can get past the appalling music, it's a really competent version of Space Harrier, and I know that playing it gave me incredible practice for playing the arcade version. I love them all, and I've got soft spots for all of them. And yeah, later on I'm going to do a video on Konami's games of this nature, their PC conversions, and I look forward to showing you those. But until then, this has been Braden, and keep on playing it loud.